If your plumbing business is growing, but everything still runs through you, you didn't scale. You just got busier. More jobs, more calls, more trucks, yeah, even more people. And somehow more still lands on you. More pressure, more decisions, and less freedom. That's not growth working for you, that's growth exposing what was never built right. In this video, I want to show you one simple shift that starts changing that. Not 10 strategies, just one. Ownership. Because if nobody truly owns the outcome, everybody keeps coming back to you. Let's use the NASCAR driver as an example. He doesn't win because he drives harder. He wins because of the system around him. You see, the car is dialed in. The crew knows exactly what to do. The dashboard shows what's happening in real time. And the crew chief makes the calls. Every second is owned. Now, imagine this for a second. The driver pulls into the pit, jumps out of the car, changes his own tires, checks the engine, makes the strategy, then gets back in and tries to win. Obviously not, right? He loses. Not because he's a bad driver, because he's doing everybody else's job. And that's exactly what happens in a lot of growing plumbing businesses. The owner is selling, scheduling, solving customer problems, approving pricing, checking jobs, answering team questions, following up on the money, putting out fires, and then wondering why growth feels so heavy. The fact is that most plumbing business owners miss the point. Growth doesn't create the problem. It exposes a weak structure. You see, at one truck, you can remember everything, right? At 5 trucks, things start slipping. At 10, everything breaks. Once again, not because your team is bad, because the business was never built to run without you at the center. The real bottleneck is dependency. And dependency usually starts with unclear ownership. People are helping, they're trying, they're busy, but they don't fully own outcomes. So when something goes wrong, they look back at you. When a decision needs to be made, they wait for you. When a customer is upset, they escalate to you. When something is unclear, they pause until you decide. And even if everyone needs you, then you become the system. That's the problem. So here's the fix. Pick one recurring issue in your business, not 20, just one. Maybe it's callbacks, maybe it's collections, maybe it's scheduling delays, or maybe it's jobs being closed wrong. Maybe is your text calling you back over and over for the same things. Pick one issue, it doesn't matter what, and then do these 4 things. First, who owns it? Not the team, not the office, not we all, one person. Let me give you an example. If a callback are the problems, maybe your service manager owns callbacks. That means callbacks are no longer something you casually complain about. They belong to someone. Okay, second, what decisions can they make without you? This is where many owners get stuck. They assign tasks, but they keep the responsibility. That doesn't work. If someone owns an outcome, they need decision rights. They need to own the responsibility. For example, your service manager can approve a tech returning to a job, decide whether the callback is billable or not, and then coach the technician afterwards without having to ask you every time. Now they're not just reporting the problem, they're solving it. Third, What results are they responsible for? Ownership needs a measurable outcome. Otherwise, it becomes vague. So, for example, your service manager is responsible for keeping callbacks under 5% of completed jobs each week. So now you have something clear, not emotional, not personal, not I feel we're doing better, a number, 5%. So, okay, fourth, when do they report progress? Ownership without rhythm disappears. So you need a simple check-in system. For example, every Monday, your service manager reports how many jobs were completed, how many callbacks happened, what caused them, what is being done to prevent the issue, and that's it. Now, the issue has an owner, the owner has decision rights, the result is clear, the rhythm is in place. That is how ownership starts moving out of your head and into the business. And by the way, if this is the kind of conversations you want more of, join my school community in the link below, where we talk about building a business that grows without depending on the owner for everything. Now, here's the uncomfortable part. Once you assign ownership, you have to stop rescuing it. Because if every time there's pressure, you jump back in, you teach the team that ownership is optional. They learn, if they get uncomfortable, the owner will take it back. And once that happened, nothing really changed. The business still depends on you. So the question is not just, can my team own more? I think a better question is, can I allow them to own more without taking it back? That's where the real work is. Because many owners say they want their people to step up, but the moment someone makes a decision differently than they would, they step back in, they correct, they override, they redo the work, and then wonder why nobody takes ownership. At some point, you have to decide, do I want to control, or do I want a business that can grow without me being involved in every single decision? Because you usually cannot have both, not at the same level anyway. When ownership is clear, the business starts to change. This is where you see decisions get made faster, problems get solved closer to where they happen, your team starts thinking instead of waiting, your phone rings less, and you stop being the backup plan for every single issue. That's when growth starts to feel different. Not heavier, lighter. Because real growth is not just more revenue, real growth is when the business becomes stronger without making the owner more trapped. So this week, don't try to fix everything. Pick one recurring issue, then answer the 4 questions. Who owns it? What decisions can they make without you? What results are they responsible for? When do they report progress? That one shift can tell you a lot about where your business is still dependent on you. And if you want to see a bigger picture, I put together a simple ownership dependency calculator. It will show you where your business still depends on you, where the bottlenecks are hiding, and what needs to change next. The link's below. So fix the structure, free the owner, and I'll see you in the next video.